The sold-out arena was alive with excitement as thousands of fans filled every seat, eager to witness the undefeated MMA champion defend his reputation once again. Bright lights illuminated the massive cage while cameras from around the world focused on the center, where Jake, the Titan, Carter stood confidently with the championship belt over his shoulder. Known for his devastating striking, elite wrestling, and incredible endurance, Jake had defeated every challenger placed before him. Analysts called him the complete fighter, and many believed no martial artist from any traditional style could compete with modern mixed martial arts. Smiling confidently, Jake accepted a microphone and addressed the roaring crowd. "For years," he said, "people have called Bruce Lee the greatest martial artist of all time. I respect what he accomplished, but respect doesn't mean I believe he could beat a modern MMA champion." The audience reacted with loud cheers and surprised gasps. Jake continued, "If Bruce Lee were standing here today, I'd gladly test that legend." The arena suddenly fell silent. Then, from the entrance tunnel, a calm figure dressed in simple black training clothes slowly walked toward the cage. There were no flashing lights or dramatic music. He walked with quiet confidence, his expression completely relaxed. When the giant screens displayed his face, the entire building erupted. It was Bruce Lee. Bruce climbed into the cage and bowed respectfully toward Jake, who returned the gesture with a smile. Although both men came from different eras and different fighting philosophies, they understood the importance of respect between martial artists. The referee stepped into the center, explained the rules, and reminded both competitors that the contest was about skill, discipline, and sportsmanship. As soon as the referee signaled the start, Jake began circling confidently, using his size and reach to control the distance. Bruce remained light on his feet, moving smoothly with complete focus. Jake suddenly exploded forward with a powerful combination of punches before attempting a wrestling takedown. The crowd gasped, expecting Bruce to be driven to the canvas. Instead, Bruce pivoted at the last second, redirecting Jake's momentum without meeting force with force. The audience erupted into applause as Bruce slipped away effortlessly. Jake immediately attacked again with heavy kicks and powerful hooks, determined to overwhelm Bruce through constant pressure. Bruce calmly avoided each strike with precise footwork, studying Jake's rhythm rather than rushing to attack. As the fight continued, frustration slowly appeared on Jake's face. He had expected Bruce to exchange blows directly, but Bruce refused to waste movement or energy. Every step served a purpose. Every adjustment forced Jake to miss by only inches, yet missing repeatedly began draining the champion's confidence. Bruce patiently observed his breathing, balance, and timing, waiting for the perfect opening. Suddenly, Jake threw one of his strongest overhand punches, believing he had finally trapped Bruce near the fence. At the last possible moment, Bruce slipped outside the attack and delivered a lightning-fast counter to Jake's body before moving away again. The strike wasn't intended to knock Jake down. It was intended to remind him that precision could overcome raw power. The crowd rose to its feet, amazed by Bruce's speed. Commentators struggled to keep up, replaying the sequence over and over while fans cheered loudly. Jake realized he wasn't simply facing a fast opponent. He was facing someone who understood timing at an extraordinary level. Determined to regain control, Jake changed his strategy and relied on his grappling background. He closed the distance, secured a body lock, and attempted to force Bruce against the cage. For a brief moment, it looked as though the champion had succeeded, but Bruce remained calm. Instead of resisting directly, he shifted his weight, created a small angle, and escaped before Jake could complete the takedown. The crowd erupted once more. Bruce answered with a quick combination of precise strikes before stepping back into a safe position. His movements remained efficient, controlled, and measured. Around the arena, spectators began realizing they weren't watching a contest between old and new styles. They were watching two highly skilled martial artists solving problems in different ways. Jake relied on athleticism, strength, and pressure. Bruce relied on adaptability, timing, and economy of motion. Every exchange became a lesson in strategy rather than brute force. As the final moments approached, Jake launched one last aggressive attack, throwing everything he had in an effort to prove his superiority. Bruce stayed composed, slipping the first punch, avoiding the second, and stepping just outside the champion's reach. In one smooth motion, he delivered a rapid series of controlled counters before creating distance again. The referee stepped between them as the exchange ended, and the crowd erupted into thunderous applause. Jake lowered his guard, took a deep breath, and smiled before extending his hand. Bruce shook it warmly. "Every style has strengths," Bruce said calmly. "A martial artist never stops learning." Jake nodded in agreement. "Today," he replied, "I learned that the greatest opponent isn't another fighter, it's believing you already know everything." The audience stood and applauded both men. Not because one had humiliated the other, but because they had demonstrated respect, humility, and the true spirit of martial arts. Bruce quietly bowed to the crowd before leaving the cage, reminding everyone that real mastery is measured not by arrogance or reputation, but by discipline, character, and the willingness to keep learning every day.